no matter who's playing. And that's the one thing I'll say that's different is these guys truly care about each other. They want to see that guy have success that's out there, and that's big time in the room to have that kind of atmosphere with all of them.
Has that been missing?
Well, it's everybody has different personalities, and so sometimes you get some, sometimes you get, and the answer is no, but I've never seen it where it's this high before. Okay, so it wasn't like somebody was wishing somebody would do poorly. Somebody maybe wanted to play, but I really truly think they've bought into the fact that whoever's out there, we're rooting like crazy for them, and when I get my chance, I'm going to do the very best I can.
Is that because they both think that they will get a chance, at least in the game situation?
I told them in the last 10 years, guys, I've played 2 quarterbacks every year. So, I mean, it's just part of it. When you get your opportunity, what are you going to do with it? Whenever it is. It may be the first snap of the season, it may be whatever snap of the season, but when you get your opportunity, what are you going to do with it?
And to that end, do you reference what happened last year, the last 2 years with Steven? That much, or just you can't beat that drum every day, though, right?
Right. I mean, I don't go through it, but I said if they don't, I mean, Gunnar got to see it firsthand.
Right.
So, I mean, it's one thing I've brought up one time, but I've also brought it up with multiple other positions, other quarterbacks at other places. So I've given them the scenarios. They've bought in. They understand that when it's their time to play, it's time to. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do?
What's something you're not doing right now you want them to do?
Well, I'll tell you this. They're really doing everything I ask them to do. Right now, I kind of like where they are. We hit a mental wall. We hit our last day of install. Terry probably hit it a little bit more than Gunnar just because Terry's hasn't been around as much as Gunnar. But the bottom line is that they're both competing and they want to do so well. I love that about them. And now it's going to be my job to fine-tune them as we get ready for that first scrimmage on practice 8.
You had mentioned early, I think it was in the spring, you'd love to see like a 65 to 70% completion rate. Does that still seem reasonable to you now that you're far enough in? I mean,
oh yeah, for sure. There's no reason in our system we can't do that. And Gunnar and Terry, after the spring, and this is just team drills. This has nothing to do with 7-on-7 or anything like that. Terry finished 66%, Gunnar finished 75%, which is incredible. Now, don't get me wrong, we're playing against our own defense, and it's a little bit different in a real game. Oh, we also count drops, so completion percentage is different than target percentage. So sometimes you'll have 7 or 8 drops in there, which will lower the completion percentage, but he's throwing it where he needs to and on target. So again, I want to continue to see. There's no reason why we can't be in that 65 to 75% range in completion percentage in targets. In decision, I like to see at 90%. We're in the 80s right now, so that's mental right now. We're still missing a couple reads here and there, and we got to continue to work on that.
You guys were so good at taking care of the ball last season compared to the season before that. How do you sort of build on that and encourage that behavior to keep going?
Well, Coach Grand brought it up the first day and showed the statistics, and it gave us a chance last year to win a lot of games. We were in games, and we were in a position, and our kids bought in, and we said, now let's go ahead and let's lower that even lower. Our quarterbacks today, and really good day, our last day of install, and that one through an interception. So I was really excited about that.
Is there anything from the young receivers? Are there guys that are standing out to you, or do you,
I'll tell you this. I don't want to pinpoint one. I think they all are. I really am impressed with this freshman group. They have come in, they are learning, they are working their butts off, they're coming in with a great attitude. You don't hear any of this out of them at all. They're just learning and sucking things in, and they're going out and making plays. So yeah, I'm very excited about all of them. They're all making plays.
Eddie had mentioned something about going to the NFL and looking at certain plays, and you guys are installing stuff maybe that you've never installed. Is that fun for you guys as coaches to sort of try new things and see what works?
Yeah, we get every single clip of every NFL game. We have every clip from the Super Bowls all the way from the last 5 years. So we will go and we will go like we went and did the Philadelphia Eagles because they just won the Super Bowl. Well, why were they so successful? And we went through their red zone packages and saw what Carson Wentz was throwing and having so much success. And we go, you know what? This is something we can do and put in, and I think it could help us have some success. So yeah, and of course then you got our players that are looking at the screen and going, my gosh, there's the Super Bowl champions running this play, and we've got it 7 or 8 times on our cut-up film, and now they're getting to go run it. So it does help reinforce what we're doing offensively.
Do you look for teams that have specific personnel, stars at positions that maybe you guys feel really, really strong at, and then try to build from that?
Well, the good thing is right now, we have so many good tight ends. We have a slew of good receivers. A lot are young, but they're really good. Our running back core really has a lot of depth. Our offensive line's doing really well. well. And again, quarterback, we have good depth right now. We just haven't played. But, I mean, we feel like we can push the envelope with a couple different plays here and there, and using some NFL cuts and stuff like that would be good.
Who's using? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, who's using more right now? College NFL stuff or NFL college stuff?
Well, I'll tell you, it's a combination of both, you know, and everybody's trying to steal from everybody. If they can help us win football games, we don't care if we get it from Pop Warner, honestly. But I mean, the bottom line is that there's some things that we feel like could fit in our system and our kids could do well. And in the NFL, they look at college and go, you know what, that's a simple thing. Why don't we do it? And you're seeing a lot more NFL teams going doing simpler, especially RPO stuff.
Yeah.
You see NFL doing a lot of RPO stuff now.
Are you stealing anything from Pop Warner? Or are you?
If it'll help us, I'll steal like crazy.
How much better is the communication, if it is, on the offensive line than maybe last year, where they sort of struggled sometimes to?
Oh, the offensive line is really doing well. Drake, you know, is a year older. He's a sophomore, and he's the youngest one on that front. And then you just see the communication just really, really coming together. They're all on the same page. And then our twos are really coming together on the offensive line, and that's what you want to see, is constant. And the good thing, too, is that we're in our system now for the third year. You know, there hasn't been changes, there hasn't been things, so you get kids that are now going on their third year in the system, and you can really see some success happening up front.
Thanks.
Okay.